everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, everybody. I know it's been a while, but I've got such a treat for you tonight. I've got Tim Davies. Actually, I'll do this. Is it the wrong way? It's the wrong way. This way. There we go. I've got Tim Davies with me. Tim is all the way in Australia, and he is Mr. eBay in Australia. And we were actually Skyping and chatting and, about what's going on with eBay in the United States and what's going on with eBay overseas. And Tim said to me, he said, Kathy, why don't we go live and just do our conversation with all the sellers? And I went, what a great idea. So that's how this came about. And that's why the title, Let's Talk About eBay Selling Globally, which is such a huge, huge, huge topic. But just quickly before we get going, I want to make sure that everybody can hear us. So you guys just let me know that you can hear us. Just comment hi. Let me know how the weather is. Now, Tim's in Australia. So Tim, tell us and introduce yourself. How cold is it there? You were telling me.
Well, I don't know about your degrees because you use Fahrenheit, we use Celsius, but it's kind of above freezing. It's in Celsius, it's around about 8 or 9 degrees, which is fairly cool. But I'm inside, so it's nice and warm here.
Super. It's
the sun's shining, can't complain.
You did get the sun. Okay, good, good, good. So I want to jump right in, you guys. So good. Everybody's saying good. So Paul's saying everything sounds great. Yay. Thank you, Pam. Yay. Hi, Pam. You can hear me? Good, good, good. Come on in, you guys. Good to see you. Hi, Hector. How are you? Hi, Nathan. Good. I'm glad you guys are all here. So just for you to know, so Tim and I have known each other now for a couple of years. And I am the eBay lady. I love to be selling. Tim is, make sure I get my finger going the right way. Tim is Mr. eBay in Australia. So what we were talking about is with all the changes that are happening on eBay, and just for you all to know, it's not just eBay United States. They are having a lot of changes in eBay Australia too. It is so important whether you are selling part-time, whether you are selling full-time, whether you are grossing $10,000 a year or whether you're well into the six figures, you must watch your profit margin, which is how much you are making after you pay for your inventory, after you pay for your shipping, after you're paying your eBay fees. Also for my larger sellers, after you're paying any help that you have, you really have to keep an eye on profit margins. And what Tim and I were discussing is, people don't always realize this is because you may be selling $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year, and you're looking to scale. You're looking to be a six-figure seller. Oftentimes, the larger you get, and Tim and I both work with some very large sellers, the profit margin actually gets smaller because of all the services that you need, the help that you need in order to run a business that size. So if you're not watching your sales volume, because it's fine to have a smaller margin, a smaller profit per item, but you must drive sales. It's absolutely essential. Your business will absolutely tank if you're not driving sales. Isn't that right, Tim?
Yeah, it is. Look, the reality is it doesn't matter how big or small you are, as you've said. Everyone's got competitors, right? There's very few people that are selling something that's completely and utterly unique, even if it might be your own product or your own brand or something. The reality is that you're still going to have competitors. And whether you're running a small business just to produce some extra income or whether you're really seriously in business looking to make millions, keeping an eye on that profit margin is really important. There are tactics that people will use on websites, in marketplaces, on eBay to undersell, or not undersell, to sell under their actual price to be able to get up to the top of search results. That's a little tactic that can occasionally work, but it's certainly not a long-term play because nobody wants to get out of bed in the morning knowing that just by being awake, they're actually losing money. That's not what you're in business for. So yeah, one of the big things that I'm very much aware of on eBay, being a marketplace, I call it a perfect economic model or perfect economic system in the sense that prices are now not really driven by what sellers are doing. Prices are driven by what buyers are willing to pay. And there's always some idiot who's going to go and charge a lower price because they don't know any better. Maybe they're new, whatever. And so it is very, very important to keep an eye on what the longer term strategy is. So if you are doing any shorter term strategy with your pricing, make sure that the fundamentals are still right. You can't do it across everything.
It's such a good point, Tim. I was just listing some inventory and I noticed somebody was a good $1 per item lower than me. However, they only have one of the item. and I have quite a few of the item. I stocked up for back to school and for some fall shopping because I got a good deal from a wholesaler. And part of me is tempted to go as low as person. And then I thought, no, let them sell. They have one. Let them get the sale. However they got the item, they only have one. I've got more than one. Let them sell it. Don't let myself get nickeled and dimed. And then I've got my price. I find oftentimes is to have patience as a seller. Yes, I want to sell. Yes, I need to make a profit. At the same time, I need to do my research. And I know that's something that you're very strong on, Tim, because oftentimes sellers, you do research, but you did it 3 months ago or 6 months ago, and it may not be current now. So and again, maybe you had to place your order for your inventory, or maybe you bought the item 3 or 4 months ago, but you're just now getting around to listing it. And the price has changed. And the demand.
Yeah, so I was going to say eBay's, obviously very much aware of this, and being a technology company first and foremost, they're looking to use data in the ways that are going to help them, but they're also looking to use data in ways that are going to help sellers, which is great news. So eBay, I presume in the US, has launched the same thing. They've got their growth beta tab in the seller hub now. And there's a whole stack of recommendations that come out in that. Some of them are very elementary. You're running out of stock of certain products, so go and get some more. But they're also bringing in pricing recommendations, which is really interesting. Any system like that is not a human being using human rational logic to say, this product should be dearer or cheaper or whatever. But it's a computer, it's an algorithm, and so it's not always going to be infallible. But it means it at least gives you an idea where to look at your prices to ask the question, well, can I sell this cheaper? Am I actually making too much? In some cases, oddly enough, the price actually is recommended by eBay to be higher. In other words, you might already be the cheapest. Nobody wins any prize really for giving away profit that they could have made more. But I think using those tools that eBay is providing and progressively rolling out is a great idea. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to be rolling out.
I think that's a great point with the growth tab. Now, for people that are collectible sellers or antique, it's a little harder because often things are one of a kind, and sometimes because it is machine driven and it is computer driven, it doesn't quite grasp what you're selling. So I know my collectible sellers have said, you sort of look at it, but take it with a grain of salt. But definitely for items that have barcodes, either UPC or an MPN or a SKU, some kind of identifying number on the item, absolutely the growth tab can be super, super, super helpful. And again, looking at what the recommendations are, sometimes it is price. What was told to me actually by a senior staffer here in the United States is, if an item is under the growth tab, it is there for a reason. Either the item is stale, there's something wrong with it. So that even if you click on the item and it says, because this is what will happen in the US, Tim, sometimes you click on it and it says there's not enough data for us to give you, and you're sort of going, okay, eBay, you've put this item under the growth tab, but you're not giving me any information. But what was explained to me is, if it's under that growth tab, it's there for a reason. So take a look at it. It could be you're missing a keyword. It could be there's some new item specifics, because this happens here in the US, Tim, which is when these new rollouts come out and as there's upgrades to the catalog, all of a sudden there's more item specifics added to a category. For instance, in women's clothing, there's now neckline, there's now sleeve style, sleeve length. And a year ago, that wasn't there. So oftentimes adding that detail, is it a V-neck? Is it a scoop? Is it off the shoulder? Is it 3/4? Is it short sleeve? That's what they're after, because customers are searching for that. And people forget that. If it shows in item specifics, if it's a recommendation under the growth tab, eBay's saying, Kathy, Kim, shoppers want this. Our data is telling us that this information or this pricing, is going to help you to get it sold. Because bottom line, this, Tim, is, what? If we don't sell, if we don't make money, eBay doesn't make money. eBay wants sellers to sell. They want all of Kathy's stuff to sell. They want all of Tim's stuff to sell, because when we sell, they make money. Also, because we're good sellers, and I know everybody listening is a good seller, is eBay also wants great sellers because they know we're going to pack it on time, we're going to pack it well, or our staff is, our warehouse is. We're going to be shipping out promptly. If there's anything that happens along the way, we're going to be prompt to take care of them. So just as eBay's working so hard to bring shoppers on, and we were talking about, for instance, Apple Pay coming on, Tim and I both noticed that now you can sign in with Facebook. That's all about making it easier for shoppers to shop on eBay, which is good news for us as sellers. So all of this is about bringing us more and more shoppers. Then the growth tab is going, hey, Tim, Kathy, take a look at this. There's something up with this listing that if you did a little tweak, maybe another picture, maybe you only have one picture up, and eBay's going, you know, really, if you have 2 or 3 pictures, it's going to help your listing. Because oftentimes that's it. They want more pictures. They want more keywords to help it to get sold.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sellers that I work with. We often do like an eBay store audit, where we go right through everything in their eBay store, from the buyer experience through to their prices, the number of products that they've got, what their categorization is like, and so on. I won't go into those details, but one of the tips that I often come back with is if a listing has been up for a while and it hasn't sold, it's already plummeting in eBay search results. It's not going to be found now. When you first create a new listing, eBay sort of puts it about there. And if it sells, and you've got multiple items, that is, if it sells, it goes up. If it doesn't sell, it starts to drop in search results. So there does come a point where it's worth keeping an eye on these things. Don't just wait longer if it's not selling. Go in and have a look at the traffic reports, because the traffic reports in the back of the eBay dashboard will tell you how many people have actually seen it in search results, how many have actually clicked through and landed on the listing, and of course, how many may have sold it as well. And so if you find that it's getting impressions, that means it's appearing in search, but it's not getting click-throughs, you need to ask the question, why? What makes people click through? Well, the image is the number one, okay? The title may be part of it, but most people still look at the image. I still say it's the image usually is the thing that people are kind of just skipping over and not looking at it. If it's getting click-throughs, but it's not selling, then it's not the image because they've already got to the listing. It's something else. Maybe the price is just not good. It's not good value. Maybe the pictures aren't clear. Maybe the description's not that great. And that's where that traffic reports tool in the back of the eBay dashboard is another great feature that eBay's brought out to be able to help sellers to see what they need to look at.
Great point. And for the US, that's under your seller hub. And what Tim was referring to is your impressions. If you look at it, it actually has all of your active listings. It will show you the impressions. That's how many times a shopper saw the item, clicks, they actually clicked your listing, and then a sale. And take a look at the ones that are at the bottom that are not getting any clicks. They're getting impressions, but they're not getting any clicks, and they're not getting any sales. And that's absolutely spot on, Tim, is to then go and take a look and go, what is going on with this listing? And eBay is giving you all of that data. It's under your seller hub. Okay?